The Sundarbans is irrefutably one of the most wild and untamed places on our planet. So, for a wildlife filmmaker, I'd say it's both a bit of a dream and a nightmare. Nightmare because the forests are impenetrable by foot. The nature of the terrain is just so hostile that it won't allow it. The mud, the thorns, the insane entanglement of roots and trees, and the constantly shifting tides. And of course, then there are the Sundarbans tigers, which have a notorious reputation of their own. So within the national park and the tiger reserve, the filming has to be done entirely from the boat. And that has its challenges because half the time you're just wobbling around trying to get a steady shot. And your entire filming style has to adapt to that movement, which actually can be quite beautiful once you figure out how to use that movement of the boat to your advantage to capture the magic of the landscape. You're also, of course, living on the same boat for the whole time. So for some 14 days, that was our home. There is this little cabin below with a very basic set of beds, two of which, of course, were occupied by the cameras. The boat also has its own kitchen where food is prepared for a perpetually hungry crew, and a washroom that may as well have been a matchbox because there's barely any space in there to even brush your teeth. But that's where we had to have our bucket baths and mostly saline water. But you know, the challenges of living like that, living in such basic conditions, pales in comparison to the magic of actually living on a boat in the Sundarbans. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you see the stars in the sky, and the silver water shimmering in the moonlight, and the beautiful mist hanging low at dawn, and witness the stunning abundance of life on these beautiful banks, you know you're in a very, very special place on earth. So the Sundarbans biosphere is more than just green cover. It is one of the most important ecosystems in this part of the world. And they are the reason why life can exist safely inland from the Bay of Bengal, which is one of the most turbulent and restless parts of the Indian Ocean, extremely prone to intense cyclones. So we were living on the boat in the Sundarbans and putting together this very important film about how this entire wall of mangrove forest single-handedly protects an entire region from utter devastation. And as luck would have it, one of the most fierce cyclones formed in the Bay of Bengal right in the middle of our shoot. So at first we only heard a bit of news filtering in, so we didn't take it very seriously. I tried to make a few calls to find out whether this was actually going to be a big deal.
There's no network. No one can hear anything. We are being told that we should probably leave, but I'm just trying to get some confirmation as to whether this is a serious thing or is it just going to be one past 15 days.
And then the nature of the water and the sky and the wind just transformed in a way that told us we had to get out. Our boat got stuck in a tangle of trees because of the wind. Tensions were running high among locals. Fishermen had just anchored their boats and disappeared home. We were rushing to leave, and again, to add to the dramas, our engine stopped working.
So কি হবে এখন? এটা এখন তো এই বোট যাবে?
না, উঠা যাচ্ছে। এটা গিয়ে আপনাদের দিয়ে আসবে।
So yeah, so that's our problem right now. Just when we decided that we're actually going to head out of here, now our boat's conked out.
So another boat had to come and help us get out.
So we're in a very, very small boat with equipment and I'm stressed out. Vidu, stop looking so relaxed.
Okay.
Of course, we managed to drive back to Kolkata safely. The newspaper articles over the next few days spoke for themselves. We in Kolkata had been saved by the Sundarbans. But when my colleague Shuvrajyoti and I went back to the Sundarbans after the storm, we saw the devastation firsthand. Where there were less mangrove forests, the damage was absolutely heartrending. So this film that we made for Round Glass Sustain on the value of the Sundarbans to this region is probably one of the most important conservation topics that I've ever spoken about. And it is something that I've learned and experienced firsthand.